Seated on his rocky cliff, Xerxes had a perfect, full view of the whole bay. Below him, 800 warships were packed together in the channel wall to wall. They sailed deeper into the pass, and they had no idea at all what lay ahead. 200 of his ships were already gone, before that morning was even over. The king, sitting up on that high cliff, had no idea what had been done to his fleet. One Greek general had tricked the most powerful king alive, just one man. 3 months before that day, the king had marched his full army into Greece. His army was said to be the largest force ever brought together in the world. The city was burning. The high temple had already fallen to Persian control. Every city in his path had either given in or been wiped right off the map. But one Greek general refused to accept that this war was already lost. His name was Themistocles. He had seen all of this coming from far off. He had pushed Athens to spend all its silver on ships, not on stone walls. 200 triremes in all, each one paid for with the silver they had found. That fleet sat waiting in the narrow channel, right beside the Isle of Salamis. But the Greek council was split. Not one man could agree on what to do next. Sparta wanted to fall back. Their plan was to retreat to the Isthmus wall. Behind that strong wall, all of Greece could still be saved, they said out loud. But the Greek general saw through it at once. That whole plan would end in ruin. Behind a land wall, the Persian troops would just sit and wait them all right out. Persia could wait. The Greeks had 1 week, maybe 2 at the very most. The sea was their one shot. Narrow water was the weapon they still had. He had argued before them for hours. The vote still went firmly against him. Sparta said no. The final vote had gone straight against him in the end. So he did the one thing that no man in that room had seen coming from him at all. He threatened to take all of the fleet from Athens and sail it far from Greece. They would sail off and build themselves a new home far across the open sea. Without Athens and its fleet, what force was left to fight this whole war? The room fell silent. Each man there fully understood what this all meant. There was no real fighting force without Athens there, not even a weak one. They voted once more, and this time the general had won his long battle. The plan: draw the whole Persian fleet deep into the narrow Salamis strait. That narrow pass ran less than 1.5 miles wide at any single point. Out in the open water, 800 against 300 was no real fight. But packed tight in that narrow pass, the whole fleet would clog up wall to wall. Greek ships were built for this. Tight turns, tight passes, hard quick strikes. Persian ships were made for raw power on the open sea, not tight turns. In that pass, all their raw force would turn right into a weak point fast. The shape of the sea was right, but only if the Persian ships would now move in. But the Persian king had good war minds around him. He knew about the whole strait. His war teams had gone through every move and every choice for weeks on end. No big fight was needed. Just let time and hunger do the hard work for them. With no food and no hope left, the Greeks would fall apart all on their own. The Greek side was cracking from within. Men were walking off one by one. He needed them to strike right now, before the whole Greek side fell apart. If the whole Greek side broke up first, the entire game would be lost for good. He needed one thing above all else: a reason for them to strike now, tonight. That was the moment. He had arrived at the most daring plan of the whole war. He called for a slave, one man he had kept close to him for many years now. His name was Xerxes. His one job would flip the whole course of this war. His task: reach the Persian lines and make his case to them before first light. He would walk in calm and claim to be a man who had turned on the Greek cause. He carried with him a false letter, one sent by the Greek general who led them. The Greeks are scared. They are in a panic and almost ready to flee by dawn. The whole Greek side was cracking. Athens was about to drop all its ships. Tonight was the time to hit them, strike now and catch all the Greeks mid-run. It was too good to turn down, a Greek turning on his own whole people. But the Greek general had counted on just that. He had banked on their raw greed. The king had been looking for a clear shot at this for many long weeks. This was it. He called his commanders in. The word was sent: move out at dusk tonight. Back in the Greek camp, not one man there knew what he had already set in motion. The council met again that night. The men who sat there felt grim and on edge. The Sparta men were quietly packing up. They planned to go before the dawn. Then the scouts came running in. Persian ships were on the move, heading right in. The Persian fleet was moving into the pass, oars out and all moving fast. For one short beat, it all looked like the plan was really working right for them. Then the Greek general stood up. He told them calmly what he had gone and done. He had sent a slave to the king. The letter he carried was a complete lie. The whole council went cold. Some of the men said he had lost his mind. If the Persians found out the whole truth right now, it would all be over for them. Each man in that room knew it. There was now no going back from any of this. But the slave was already across. The false message had already been sent. This is where the battle turned. It was not ships. It was that one letter. The king had not been beaten by a larger fleet or by a greater number of ships. He walked in because one man gave him the one thing he had always wanted. The most powerful king on earth, undone by a single page from a slave. It could not be undone now. The trap had already been set and had already sprung. If this worked, Greece would live. If it did not, every man there would then die. That night, 800 Persian warships all lowered their oars into the water. Into the Salamis pass they moved. 3 wide, in the dark of night they rowed. The king had sent his south wing out to block and seal the far end of the pass. He meant to cage the Greeks right in there, seal off each and every last way out. In doing so, he had packed 800 ships into one tight, narrow box. His men rowed through the whole night long. By first light they were worn and spent. They had counted on empty water. They thought the Greeks would be long gone by then. But the Greek fleet was still right there, every oar out, all of them ready to fight. Nearly 400 Greek ships were spread tight across the narrow pass. The general had timed it well. The Persians now faced the full morning sun. The sun had come up strong and shot its light into every last Persian eye. By midday, the wind would shift right into the face of every Persian or man. The general had known this. He had read the winds and the sea tides well. The Greeks struck first, with rams low and all their long oars churning hard. Greek ships hit at a sharp angle, rammed hard, then turned and pulled clear. Persian ships, jammed in tight, could not turn or pull away from the hits. Persian men swung wide and smashed right into their own ships in the crush. It was total chaos in the pass. Wood splintered, oars snapped everywhere. Ships were going down every few minutes. The water around them turned dark. There was no way back now. Their own ships had sealed off every last way out. 3 straight hours went by. Nothing went the way the king on the cliff had thought. 240 ships went down that day. Not a single one came home. By midday, the Persian fleet had broken apart. What was left fled west. And all through it, the king had watched from his high cliff, every last bit of it. He had his gold thrown up there, high above it all. He watched and kept watching. He watched his fleet fall apart below. He watched each ship go up in flame. He had no power to stop it. He knew it. There was no way to change any of this. The king who had chained the sea itself now sat there on the cliff in deep silence. 3 weeks on, the king packed up and left all of Greece for good. He was done. The push was done. The Persian Empire would never return to Greece again. One slave, one false letter, sent off in the dark just before the dawn. One fake letter had brought 800 ships to full ruin by first light of dawn. He had known this could get them all killed. He still went ahead and did it anyway. He had saved all of Greece. Every life was on the line when he made his move. But the general did not last long in their good graces once the war was won. 10 years on, Athens cast him out. He died in exile far from home. He went from city to city, chased hard by foes on both sides of it all. His life ended in Persia, serving the king whose fleet he once destroyed. The man who saved Greece. He died in the court of the king he had once brought down. When mass force meets the right plan, raw power does not always win the fight. That king had ships, had gold in the name of a god. All of it failed him. One dark message, sent by one slave, built on one single lie, changed it all.